Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making this Posie square. It's got our bullions, which we're doing at the moment, a short series of, and some just double crochets and single crochets. So once you've got this middle part done, the rest is quite plain sailing. So there are 3 colours suggested for this square. So obviously you can do it in one colour if you prefer, but grab your things and let's get started. Okay, now as usual for our bullion stitches, we usually will do the chain 4 and slip stitch into your first chain to make your ring. It just gives us a sturdier start. Now I am going to do this very slightly differently to the pattern, just because I feel it works slightly better. We're going to chain 1. It's not much different to the pattern, so don't panic. Chain 1, but then the pattern says to do 11 single crochets. Well, I'm going to do it because normally, according to the pattern, we would use this chain, but I'm not going to do that. I'll admit I sometimes get confused by that chain. So we're going to do that chain, ignore it, and do 12 single crochets into your ring. So 12 single crochets around your ring, and I will see you back when I've done 12. And when you've got your 12 single crochets, you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet, not your chain. So count back around until you get to your 12th stitch, and then do your slip stitch in that 12th stitch. Okay, so that chain 1 just gets ignored. Yes, it is different to the pattern, just be aware of that. It's different to the pattern in chart. Okay, so now we are going to go on to doing our bullion stitch. So this is where my favourite technique is to use a slightly smaller hook and an even smaller hook. So I was using my regular 4.5 hook, and now I'm going down to a 3.5. On my previous video with bullions, I used a 4mm hook, and it was not working so well with this hook. So I've got a 3.5 and a 2mm. So the 2mm is going to go upside down against this hook, and I will show you a couple of these stitches to get you going, and then leave you to finish off. So we're starting off with a chain of 3, and then whichever way you want to do your bullions, get your stuff now. So some of you are using the latch hook, some of you are just doing it with your fingers. You're just taking the loops off with your fingers. That works just as well. Whatever you prefer, grab your straw if you're using a straw. If you need more help with this, then in the box below, the description box, there will be a link to my bullion stitch how-to tutorial, which I show you several different methods there of how to do this stitch. And as always, if you need to slow down, then in the top right or just below, there's options to slow this video down as well. And don't forget to pause and rewind if you need to as well. So we've got our chain 3, and now I've got my things ready. So we're going to do 15 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Or if you prefer, you can just do it this way. You can just wrap them like this, okay? Just count those 15. And then I like to put my finger on here just to secure those. And then you are going to, as I've always said, this is the trickiest part. You want to get your hook into your stitch. So we're going to go into this stitch where we just did our slip stitch. Okay, so pop that through. So now that's now between the 2 of those. And then you're going to do a yarn over just onto that hook and pull through. There we go. And then pull this loop up a bit, because this is what all your 15 loops are going to come over onto. Slide this up so it covers your hook. Can you see that's covering the hook there? They're very similar colours, so I apologise for that. So it's covering the hook there, and then you're going to just loosely hold on to these and slide them off of your hook. Be brave. And then just putting that yarn up this inside there a bit to make that nice and tall and proud. There we go. Pop back down, slip this last loop over, and that is your first bullion stitch. Okay, and if you need to, just rewind a couple of minutes and watch that again. But first of all, before you do your next bullion stitch, you need to bring this yarn up and pull through for a chain, and then do a second chain. So you've got those 2 chains there, and you will have this strand at the back of each bullion stitch. Okay, so then for the next bullion stitch, you will grab your things and you will pop your 15 wraps. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Insert your hook into the next stitch, pull through, yarn over that hook, pull through, pull up this strand here, this one here, pull that up, pop this over to cover your hook, and slide all these loops off of there. And that last loop actually that was on here has gone over all on its own. I didn't need to do that separately. That's gone, just naturally gone over with the rest. So that's your stitch. So pull this loop up and do a chain and then a second chain, and that's your second bullion stitch. Now they will start to lean over, but don't panic about that. So that's your second one. So you've got 2 chains between each, and as I said, they'll all have these strands behind. So you need to go around and do 1 bullion stitch in every single crochet around until you have 12 bullion stitches, and your 12, and then do your final chain 2, and I will meet you back to join it here. Okay, now I don't usually do, here's one I made earlier, but just to save myself some time with the video pausing, I have got one here that I made earlier. So there's my finished 12 bullion stitches. Let's get rid of all those, and my loop's just disappearing there. So I have my 12 bullion stitches now, and just find the yarn. Where are we? Here we go. So I need to do my last chain 2, and then you are going to join into this chain 2 space next to the first bullion. So not this chain, none of this. You're going to join with a slip stitch into this chain space here over the top of the bullion. So just join that with a slip stitch there, and that's your center done. Now you can see this one, I've just done a different blue in the center there, just to change it up a bit. So we are going to fasten off this colour and grab whatever you want for your second colour. Okay, so for round 2 we're going to be doing this yellow round, and this is where we will do our first round of squaring this off. So you want to join your colour into a chain 2 space. If you are using the same colour, if you're continuing, then you did a slip stitch into this chain 2 space, so you're already there and you can just continue from where you are. That's absolutely fine. And as always, I've joined in the opposite side, so my tails are in opposite sides for sewing in. Okay, so we're going to do our first corner. We're going to do a chain 3 for our first double crochet, and then we are going to do another double crochet. So that will be like 2 double crochets there, and then a chain, sorry, not a chain 2, and then a treble crochet. So yarn over twice, do a treble crochet, and then chain 2, and then another treble crochet, and 2 double crochets. So we've gone taller and then back to smaller, so we've gone taller and then down to smaller again. So that's your first corner, and then you are going to do, in each of these chain spaces, you are going to make 3 double crochet. So 3 double crochet in this one, 1 2, 3, 3 double crochet in the next, 1, 2, 3, and then it is time for your next corner. So you're going to do a double crochet and a second double crochet, treble crochet, oops, chain 2, treble crochet, 2 double crochet, 1, 2 double crochet, and that's your corner. And you are going to repeat this all the way around, doing 3 double crochet in the next 2 spaces, and then your corner, 3 double crochet in the next 2, and a corner, and then 3 doubles in the next 2, and then you will join as always to your top chain here. Okay, I'll meet you back in a moment. Okay, so finish your round with a slip stitch into your top chain, and then fasten this colour off, and we're going back to our first colour. Well, this is the suggestion of the pattern, is to go back to this first colour. So we'll be doing this round here, this white round. Probably can't see it against my table, sorry. So we're doing this white round here. Okay, so fasten this off and grab your next colour. Okay, now if you don't want to change colour, if you want to continue and do this round in the same colour, you will need to slip stitch across these 2 stitches into your corner space, or you can just cut your yarn and restart the same colour in your corner space, okay, because that's where we're going to start. But just join your new colour. If you're changing colour, join that into that corner space. Okay, so for our corner, we're going to do a chain 3 as a double crochet, and then we're going to do a treble crochet. So not 2 doubles this time. We did 2 doubles on this round, but on this one we're just going to do 1 double and 1 treble, and then a chain 2, and then working back down again, do a treble and a double. So now we're going to work across this side, and we're going to do double crochets and chains. So chain 1, chain 1, chain 2, chain 1, and then skip this next stitch and do a double crochet into the next. You'll be doing 6 stitches across here. So chain 1, skip a stitch and do a double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next. Let's grab some more yarn, if it will come out. There we go. Okay, so chain 1, skip a stitch and double crochet, oops, into this stitch, and that should be 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to do a chain 1 at the end there, and then you're going to do your corner, which, if you remember, was a double crochet, a treble crochet, chain 2. I did that treble crochet wrong, didn't I? Should we do that one again? Let's just, there we go. It's easy to slip those last 2 loops, to do that all at the same time, so don't make that mistake that I just did. And then do your chain 2 and a treble and a double, and then you're going to do your chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and you're going to do this all the way along, all the way around. So chain 1 after that. So you're going to do these 6 stitches along here, and then your corner, and then another 6, and your corner, and another 6, and you'll do your last chain 1. And when you've done your last chain 1, you will join into your top chain of this starting one. So I'll meet you back around there. Okay, now I'm nearly at the end of my round, and I just wanted to say, because I've started in this corner just after where I did my first chain of this previous round. So when you get to that chain, you need to not mistake that that's a stitch for like counting as your skip or to go into. So I've done one here because I just got a bit confused with my stitch count. So I've done one there, and then I'm skipping, and now this is technically my next stitch, which is this chain 3. So just go into the top of that top chain where you did your slip stitch, and just use that as your next stitch, okay, and then do your chain 1, and then this will be the next stitch. Getting all my yarns mixed up, so this will be my next stitch that I have to skip, and then going into this last one here. So it can be a bit confusing when you come across your chain and your next double crochet. It still looks like it's in the wrong place, so I need to go to the left of that. So let's try that again. See, I told you it's a bit tricky, so I'm going to go into this little space here, just so we know what we're doing, and it spreads it out a bit. Okay, just do whatever feels right, whatever looks right, and I'm sure it will all come together quite nicely. So there we go. So we've skipped this one in the middle here now. Okay, do your last chain 1 and slip stitch into your top chain here, and that's the end of that round. It's time to fasten off, and we will be bringing in our third colour if you wish to follow these 3 colours along. So we're doing this border around here now. This pale pink border is what we're doing next. So fasten this off and grab your next colour, or just hold on for a second till I tell you where we're going if you're continuing in this same colour. Okay, so I'm changing to my yellow now, or lemon. If you're sticking with the same colour, then you would have finished off here near this corner. So just slip stitch across and into this chain space of your corner if you are sticking with the same colour. If you're changing colour, then as always, I'm going to an opposite corner. Just join your new colour in a corner space with a slip stitch, and then we are going to do the corners as we did before. Yeah. So chain 3 and do a treble crochet. So that chain 3, of course, is your double crochet. Then a treble, so chain 3 and a treble, chain 2, another treble, and a double, and that's your corner. So double, treble, chain 2, treble, double. And now this round could not be simpler. You are going to do a double crochet into every stitch along, and 1 in every chain space where you did a chain between your double crochets. So just 1 in every stitch, no chaining, just 1 double crochet in a stitch, and then in a chain space, and then in a stitch. And you should have 17 double crochets going across, not counting your corners. 17 double crochets going across in between your corners, and then when you get to the other side, 17 stitches later, you will do another corner of a double, treble, chain 2, treble, double, and then move along to your next side and do 17 double crochets, 1 in every stitch and 1 in every space, all the way around to the beginning. And when you get around to the beginning, you will be slip stitching into the top of your chain 3. Now I've just got my slip stitch bit here, which is sometimes a bit tricky. Just get it under there. There we go. So back to your next corner, so all the way around, 17 stitches along this middle between your corners, and I'll see you back around here. So when you finish this round, you want to do a slip stitch into your top chain, and then if you are changing colour, fasten off. If you're not changing colour, then just slip stitch across to your corner, and it will be time for the last round. So this is the round here that I've got in yellow around the edge. Okay, so I'm just going to change my colour. The pattern doesn't actually say that you need to join in the corner, but I find that sometimes if we've got these corners, then it's a far need to join to do it in the corner. So I'm going to join my green again, and we'll get ready for round 6, our final round. Okay, so for our last and final round, I've joined with a slip stitch into my corner, and I'm going to do a chain 1, which doesn't count as anything, and then 3 single crochets into this corner. 2, 3 single crochets, and then, so simple, you're going to do a single crochet in every stitch along your side. So we've now got 21 stitches. We had 17 last time, but because we've got our 2 corner stitches here and 2 on the other end, it's basically like 21, or you could count the inside ones as 17, and then your corner stitches. So 21 all the way along, single crochets, nice and simple. And when you get to your next corner, it will be 3 single crochets. Now if your square is not quite the size that you need it to be, and this single crochet round is not going to be tall enough, then change it up and do a chain 3 here, and do a double crochet round to make it wider, and just do 3 double crochets in your corner, or maybe you only need half, so do 2 chains and half double crochets, 3 half double crochets, and 2 half double crochets all the way along. So whichever size you need for your final round, just do that. Or if you like the single crochet look, you could of course do 2 rounds of single crochet. That would work just as well, in the same colour, or you could add another colour. Whatever you choose, it's your square going into your blanket or cardigan or whatever you're going to make with your squares. So continue this all the way around, and I will meet you back around here to fasten off. Okay, so I finished my round, and I'm going to do a slip stitch, not that chain, but under the first single crochet, or depending on what stitch you were doing, just do a single crochet into your first stitch or chain. And that is my square finished. So mine's at the right size, so I'm going to fasten this off. And just time to tell you that if you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, then the link is in the box below, and you can upload photos there, show us your beautiful squares, and come and join in the chat and the fun there. And you'll get access to the pattern files every day, written pattern and charts for most of our squares. Come and join us there. And there we go, guys, there's your Posie square for today. And as I have done on most of my squares this month, I've included blue for the Autism Awareness Month, of Wear Blue for Autism, and there's a link in the box below for that as well if you're interested in having a look. So if you found this useful and helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe as well for access to all our other patterns. They all the other squares, they go up about an hour before the patterns go up in the group. So there we go, until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.